Hi guys, as I'm sure you can tell already, we have, well, the first showcase or preview of Lone Wolf Peira, and based on what we're seeing from kit-wise, she looks absolutely ridiculous. Without further ado, let's figure it out. First and foremost, as you're seeing right now, we see her kit, and well, I should say her design, and it does look pretty amazing. The design of this futuristic-y, cyberpunk-y, K-poppy, whatever look you'd like to describe it, looks pretty fantastic. But guys, this art is, I'll say it, they cooked. Now, without further ado though, let's actually take a look at her kit and what they've shown, including the first part of her kit being that she's a 5-star Dark Elemental Aquarius Warrior who can strengthen Dark Elemental allies and help her allies get their turns. This is pretty ominous and sounds a bit scary, but let's go a little bit further. Her skill 1 reads that she attacks the enemy with a 75% chance to decrease the defense for 1 turn. So she's got a defense break, and she also has an additional damage dealing, I guess, feature attached to her S1 attack. But in addition to this, her Soulburn allows her to attack all enemies, though it cannot trigger a dual attack. Interesting to remember or note here that this isn't the same as you can't trigger a counter or something. It just means that you can't use it to, well, pair with someone like maybe Afternoon Soak Flan. Now, her skill 2 reads that she herself gains 50% evasion. Okay, every character in the game seems to give themselves 50% evasion nowadays. But in addition to this, at the start of the turn, she increases her attack by 20%, and this can stack up to 5 times. That's kind of a lot. Stat-wise, that looks pretty crazy. Now, in addition to this, at the end of her turn, the combat readiness of all her allies is increased by 10%, and that's probably, to me, the biggest seller or the biggest, wow, this looks really crazy already in terms of her kit. Characters that give 40% or any amount of free combat readiness to the team are already pretty insane, and if I'm not mistaken, there aren't that many in the game in general that even do that, but at the end of the turn, you just gain free combat readiness in general feels pretty valuable and pretty insane, especially since it's 10%, which is, I guess like roughly 30 to maybe like 40 speed per turn. But if we talk about her S3, this is where things get actually pretty crazy. First and foremost, it dispels 2 debuffs from all allies. Ridiculous. But it also grants Rampage to all Dark Elemental allies for 3 turns. Now, she also provides Swift Attack to all allies except for the caster, which is fine. But in case you're curious what Rampage is, Rampage gives 20% speed and evasion to every character that has it. Which I don't think I should have to say is crazy, but if you can think of any evasion or any dark character in the game, I'm looking at you, Bloodblade Karen, now they have 20% additional speed or evasion, which is ridiculous. Now, you could immediately go to thinking about characters maybe like the new kid Aiden, or again, the Bloodblade Karen, to kind of abuse this evasion, but I took a moment to think about the OG, the real I wish this character was better character, and that's Remnant Violet, who, in theory now with this, should have something like 90% evasion, though, as we all know, even if he has 90% evasion, that doesn't mean that he won't just get one-shot by some other random percentage damage, like maybe Senya S3. In any case, though, the additional evasion and speed given through Rampage is pretty cool, especially because this is one of the first characters, the first new characters that we've received that actually gives evasion to allies in general. I think maybe the last time we received something similar to this was like the Fat Cat EE, or maybe even as far back as one of the wolves that gives you an evasion buff, period. But as you guys are probably also imagining, the Swift Attack that is provided to all allies except for the caster, alongside the extra turn, is also pretty insane. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I had to go back and go to Cecilia Bot for a moment to kind of double check exactly what the Swift Attack buff is, and if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the buffs that you gain that increase the combat readiness. And this is what you're seeing from a mid, and this is formerly a buff that was given to a mid, but as you're seeing at the end of the turn, it increases the combat readiness, again, of everyone who has the Swift Attack buff by 50%. It increases their combat readiness by 50%, and Now, again, though there are other characters that are present out and about in the game, like Harsetti and stuff, that may unbuffable you or may prevent you from being able to use a speed character or use a character like Peira currently, it is still worth mentioning, of course, that this is a pretty aggressive character, and having all the combat readiness in general feels absolutely, well, baffling, to be honest. Now, I do also kind of want to take a look at the fact that this is a 5-star elemental Aquarius warrior, and this, well, using the Cecilia bot website, which is pretty cool, we can actually go to Aquarius and we could take a look at warriors to see if there's anyone similar. And based on this, as far as we can tell right now, though she is light, you can see that this is a similar base speed character to someone like Conqueror Lilius, and she will have 121 speed. Now, it is also worth mentioning here that her attack is okay, but not the highest. She has roughly 890, which, again, maybe if you want to use her as somewhat of a damage dealer, you could in the future. But as far as I can tell right now, because of the way that her scaling and such works, maybe she could be a character that runs an attack main neck alongside something like I guess, maybe an HP ring, or maybe you double down on double attack. Again, it doesn't really appear as though she, as far as I can tell, needs that much effectiveness in general. You could, in theory, argue that presumably having the AoE, excuse me, having the AoE defense break on S1 could be kind of valuable, but given that, again, she could also have a really high damage dealing S1, we'll kind of have to wait and see exactly to, I guess have her damage kind of checked, because as it is right now, if this attack scaling that she has is all for naught, then maybe we'll just end up running effectiveness and HP next so that she doesn't die, and so that she can, again, provide these buffs to her allies. But as far as I can tell right now, she looks like she'll be pretty cool, especially paired with, I should say, dark allies. I suspect that a lot of people are going to be using this Peira character, likely with someone like Harsetti. It's already pretty frustrating in general to be fighting against characters that can't take damage because, well, you're stunned, or you are injured, or you are blinded. I'm looking at you. Pretty much every character in the game that has a blind on your S1. But with this, I am a little bit concerned with how strong a character like this will be. Again, this is our preview currently for the next ML character, and of course with all the ML characters in epicseven, they all, for whatever reason, have to be extremely powerful. But at the end of the day, guys, I think that her design looks pretty cool. She's got this whole bike aesthetic going on. I'm not even exactly sure. I don't think she's necessarily anything, or she necessarily has anything to do with Last Rider Crow or that part of the world, but whatever it is, I like her bike. I like her design. Honestly, she is probably top tier profile picture and or profile banner material. But as I'm sure you guys all know, with those, you're gonna have to hide those for the end of the season, so you won't even be able to use your profile card. Anyways, enough ranting aside. I think she looks really cool. I think she's gonna be pretty powerful. The evasion maybe will allow her to survive against some of the more powerful characters in the game. It is worth mentioning, though, that again, though she does have evasion herself, it's an evasion, it's an evasion increase that isn't a buff, which I think is a very important distinction, though it is sealable, or would be sealable, given that it is a passive. Now, again, guys, in terms of this character's power, we'll have to see just how impactful having a character with not 100% evasion is, though I suspect, especially because you can give any character or any dark character evasion, the long list of dark characters that can probably make use of, I mean, just take a look at, like, if you can give evasion to, I don't know, an ML Ken, or to an Abyssal Euphine, or to pretty much anyone, even an Archdemon Shadow, all these sound pretty annoying or very abusable, I'd say, or would probably feel pretty annoying to fight against. I think she'll probably have a place, but again, we'll have to see what her numbers are. We'll have to see how much damage she deals, and then we can make a more informed decision. But that's my initial gut reaction and first impressions of this new Peira, I guess, Moonlight release. In any case, though, guys, thanks again for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like, comment, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and again, hope that you learned something if you did. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Check out the rest of my socials if you want to see more. And yeah, Peira looks cool. Cool looking design characters. Anyways, that's going to be it for today. Take it easy, guys. Goodbye, good night, good afternoon. I'm going to bed. See you later. Bye-bye.